Alright, what is up, YouTube world? My name is Eric Stone with Expiring Music Writer. This video, it's been a while since I've actually done a video. I've got videos I've uploaded of Austin Upchurch and Giovanni and the Hired Guns live at Majestic. The last time I seen them, I think there's 3 or 4 videos. So check that out. Austin Upchurch was really awesome. I think it's from Godly, Texas. But this, in the last video, album review I did was Toby Keith's 2021 album, Peso in My Pocket. It was before, about a year, came out a year before he had stomach cancer. So God bless him, and hopefully he gets back to writing songs and recording music. I love him. I don't like everything he does, but I love him. He was one of the big guys I listened to in the 90s. I'm always usually drinking something. Of course, tonight I got a natural light. For one thing, I'm broke. Another thing is, this video I'm going to be doing is a Charlie Robinson's 2004 album, Good Times. I brought this hat. I've worn this so much. Charlie Robinson actually, I think, signed it. It's really faded out, but you can see right there. I don't know where the hell I bought this. I mean, it was at a show. I've seen him 2 or 3 times, and I've worn it so much I broke the bill on it. I don't wear it much anymore, but I'm doing it to support some Charlie Robinson, Robison, not with an N in the middle of it. But he's a guy from Bandera, Texas. Him and his brother Bruce Robison have played music their whole lives. Charlie officially retired, I think, back in 2018. But somebody did take a video of him singing, I think, Loving County like a month ago somewhere in Texas. So hopefully, knock on wood, he starts coming out with new music again and coming out of retirement. But he's got a lot of great albums. I think the very first, I can't remember the first song that I heard by him. The first I remember liking really a lot was on his 2002 live album at Green Hall, was Tonight, which was actually wrote by Bruce, and he had a little story along with it on that album. So look it up. It's a badass album and a badass song. The funny thing, it was before El Cerrito Place and Big City Blues, and trying to think of some New Year's Day and all that, which was actually on this the 2004 album. But it was funny when this album actually came out. I fucking hated El Cerrito Place, and I hate to say that, but because I was still at the point where I was discovering Red Dirt and Texas music, and I was more into upbeat songs. And I hated this song, and I ended up it being one of my favorite songs ever recorded. But anyways, let's go into the actual album. But the funny thing was, in 2000, or when I heard Live at Green Hall, I thought it was Grooney, because there's a U in the name, Gruene, and I didn't realize until later that it was pronounced Green. But like I said, I will say this, but I'll get into that later. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I just yak. Anyways, Charlie Robinson's Good Times, it was released on September 14th of 2004. And that's when I was really started to get into Red Dirt in Texas and Oklahoma music. I was still very naive and wet behind the ears about the whole independent stuff, and you don't have to go to Nashville to make a record and this and that, you know. So, well, this is a good beer. Anyways, it's 11-track album, and there's upbeat and sad songs and in between, and a few covers on this album, but it kicks off with Good Times, the self-titled album, or the self-titled, and it's just about, now I don't know who this was actually written by. It says Charlie Musselwhite, and he does have a song called Good Times, but it's not the same song. So I don't know if Charlie wrote it himself or what, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But it's upbeat. It's just about having a good time. That's all. And starting a band and getting the band going and all that good jazz. And and then it kicks off with another upbeat song. And the funny thing is, I had to look it up. I don't know. I think it was either written by Charlie or Charlie and Bruce. I'm not for sure. But whoever wrote it, it was after a night of heavy drinking. It was a real trip down to south of the border, I think Laredo. And they went to this place called Boys Town. There's a bunch of bars. And there was actually a bar called the Dallas Cowboys. It has nothing to do with the football team. But if you want to get more into that, look it up. Bruce Robison and Troy Robinson on YouTube. New Year's Day, I just put story in there and it'll come up where Charlie's talking about it. But it's a good, I love to sing. I love, one of my favorite songs on this album. This album is pure red dirt gold. I mean, there's not really a bad song on this album that I see or hear or anything. Now, some songs will get filler, but to me, this has no filler whatsoever, you know. And then it goes into the El Cerrito Place. Favorite fucking song by him ever. And one of my favorite songs ever recorded. It was written by Keith Gaddis. And Keith Gaddis has 2 albums out, so check him out. Look up Big City Blues, which he wrote that too, which we'll get to in a minute. But, and then I can't remember, there's another album from 96. But Big City Blues has got that one in El Cerrito Place, and Reconsider, which Charlie did on another album. And there's, I think, one more that Charlie did of Keith Gaddis's. But it's a slow song, and to me, it's like I said, it was on Keith Gaddis's 2005 Big City Blues album, and my favorite song on that album, I think, is Don't Lie or something like that. It's like number 9 or 10 on that album. Anyway, and then, of course, Charlie Robinson did it on his album, and then in 2012, Kenny Chesney recorded it on his Welcome to the Fishbowl, and that's probably my least favorite song. To me, Kenny Chesney just watered it down a little bit too much and took just the whatever it had in that great song and just made it too radio friendly for me. And that's, I'm not saying that because there's a lot of Kenny Chesney songs that I love, but that is not one of them. I don't know if he ever come out with this as a single. I can't remember. But it's about looking for a girl, reminiscing back. And it's a very haunting song. Very beautifully haunted. And to me, like, I think the woman's dead. I don't know. That's what I get out of the song. And he's just remembering her back when she was alive. But he's going and looking, and he ends up out at Joshua Tree in the desert and can't find her there. No one's saying anything. And then he ends up going back to El Cerrito Place, the city. But if you haven't heard it, beautiful song. Listen to whatever version you want to, but Charlie to me has got the best version of the song, and Keith's is a little bit different than Charlie's. Keith don't have the greatest voice in the world, but if like me coming from, I love the songwriters, I don't give a two fucks if they can sing, as long as they got badass songs. Another couple other songwriters that I discovered is Joseph Deeb. I think that's how you say it, Deeb. He wrote Lost and Found, which Mickey and the Motor Cars recorded, and they're going to be playing tomorrow at Majestic in Fort Smith, and I'm going to go see them. And then Dean Seltzer, and I know Joseph D played years ago with Mickey and the Motor Cars. I don't know about Dean. I think Dean recorded some of the same songs that Mickey and the Motor Cars did. But anyway, that's sidetrack. That's why I just yakking. But Eric Stone, Expiring Music Writer YouTube channel, Eric Stone TikTok, Eric Stone Facebook page, ERICSTONE. Give my Facebook page a like. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. Share, like, comment. I got 306 subscribers. Please subscribe. I'll be doing more of these. I'll be doing Britney Spears, Britney's 2001 album. I'm going to do a Demi Lovato album review. Probably a Christina Aguilera review. Eli Howard and the Greater Good. That's a band from Oregon. Charlie Yeager. He's a newer guy. Jacob Bush. I'm going to be doing a lot of album reviews. I need to do them more often, but I kind of got out of the way. But anyways, number 4, we'll get back on track. Big City Blues. It's an upbeat song. Another favorite of mine on this album. Like I said, this album's gold. In the Red Dirt world, it's probably my top 5, one in my top 5 favorite Texas, Red Dirt, Oklahoma music albums. It's like I said, upbeat. It was also written by Keith Gaddis, and he actually recorded on this same title album in 2005, a year after Charlie Robison did. Going to the country, tired of the big city, but the dad loves big city girls. It's a great song to sing along to. Number 5, it's slow way down. Song called The Bottom. And I actually learned a lot about this. It's a song, very slow song, and it was written by Waylon Payne. And it's a guy on an elevator, and the elevator's going all the way down to the bottom. And I think to me, the tendon, or whatever you want to call it, is just hit rock bottom and trying to kill this girl's memory. And just, it's slow. It's a beautiful song, beautifully sad song. Another thing, it was funny because there's a line in it that says, "Let the sweetest Benedictine liquor flow." And I got to looking at that because I didn't really know what the song was about. And it's kind of a mystery, which I like about that. Because I know in a lot of late 60s and 70s rock music, there's a lot of songs you really don't know what the meaning was behind, or you know what I mean. But this one, I found out what I got out of it was it's kind of do with Saint Benedict. Just look it up and you'll know what I'm talking about. Just look up what was Saint Benedict known for. And then funniest song, and he's really good about comical songs. Charlie is "Love Means Never Even Have to Say You're Hungry." And it's the Eatin' Pussy song. I can't say it any other way. Look it up if you hadn't heard it. That's actually the song that got me into Charlie Robison. And you'll know what I mean when you look it up. If you don't know what it is, look it up. I mean, it's funny as hell. Like I said, it's upbeat. Charlie Robison wrote it. Funny. Then another serious song on number 7. Photograph. That's another great song. It was also written by Charlie Robinson. It's a slow song, and it's just reminiscing back and looking back at old photos and, thinking back to the old days. It's a great song. I actually kind of wrote a song after that. I don't even know what the hell the song was called. And it was funny because I wrote it after Charlie Robinson's Photograph and Nickelback's Photograph, and it was my own take on the same situation. But I don't know if it's any good because I've learned, I write songs, and I've learned throughout the years when you first start writing songs, and I've heard this from a lot of different artists, is you'll end up writing songs that look or exactly like the people that influence you, and then you end up writing original stuff. And I've noticed that because I've written a song that was based off another Charlie Robinson song and a Toby Keith song called Who's That Man, and it was just pretty much two complete different songs, and I formed it together into one, made my own. And then number 8, Something in the Water, that's another upbeat song. And it's a funny song too. It was written by, Charlie Robinson. And the first verse is, the something in the water, which means behaving strangely. And it's the first time he drank alcohol and he got feeling funny and fell on the floor, drunker than a skunk. And then the second verse is, first time he had a crush on a young girl. Great song. Number 9 is Always, another slow song. Great song. This to me is another mystery song. You don't know really what Troy is talking about, but it's a badass fucking song. It's slow. He wrote it. Troy Robinson did. To me, it's no matter what you do, what the girl does, he's always going to love her. But to me, there's a mystery there too. Like, you don't know really what he was writing it about, like I said. And number 10, Flatland Boogie. It's a cover of Terry Allen's song. It's upbeat. And to me, what I got out of the song is a trip in a car. It's just in the flatlands, and they're just having a good old time. They're doing the Flatland Boogie, a dance to whatever's on the radio and whatever. Then it ends with a story song called Magnolia. Charlie Robinson wrote that. Like I said, he's a hell of a writer. And Jacob Flint, he's a newer guy in the Red Dirt scene from Oklahoma. And he said that Charlie Robinson was a younger version of Robert Earl Keen. And I can see that because Robert Earl Keen got some badass story songs, and so does Charlie. Like I said, hopefully he comes out of retirement and comes to do new songs. But Magnolia it's more of a bluegrassy type song. It's haunting. To me, it's about domestic abuse, and it's where the woman kills the husband because of the husband's being abusive, and it's kind of a mystery too. So it's a great album. If you're not into the Red Dirt stuff and you're wanting to, I would start with this album or start with one of them. I mean, this is one album I'd start with if you want to get to Texas music, Oklahoma, Red Dirt, the independent stuff like I've been into for years. Like I said, it's one of my top favorite Red Dirt albums, Texas albums. I don't really have a top 5, but that's in my top 5. But like I said, check out Charlie Robinson. He got like 2 live albums and 4 or 5 studio albums. He's hilarious. He's got serious songs. He got story songs. His brother Bruce Robinson has actually had songs recorded by George Strait and Tim McGraw. George Strait recovered Wrapped, and Tim McGraw recorded Angry All the Time. That's one of my favorite songs of all time too. Both great songwriters, a little bit different. I mean, they're brothers. They're gonna be same or sound similar, but they're different. But like I said, top 5. If you really want to get into independent Texas, Oklahoma music, I would check this album out if you haven't. It is a badass album. I mean, from the first track to the end. Especially if you want to be a songwriter, you know, look up these and look up Terry Allen, which I need to do that because I didn't know that much about Terry Allen. But Waylon Payne, I'm gonna look them up too. Keith Gaddis, I've been getting into. He's a badass. And then Charlie's got other stuff. And also, if you can, I don't think it might be on Spotify. I don't know, but check out Red Letter Day. It was Troy Robinson's very first album. It came out before, I can't remember, the one with Sunset Boulevard on it and Poor Man's Son. But it's not on iTunes. I don't know if it's on Spotify. I have to look it up. But anyways, Eric Stone, aspiring music writer. Eric Stone, TikTok, TICTOC. Y'all have a good day. And also look forward to, I'll be doing a Britney Spears, Britney's 2001 album review here in a little bit. And I'll see y'all later.